Hello, hello, everyone. Good morning. Thank you for your patience. It's been a little bit of a crazy morning for me today, so we're gonna make do. So let's see what we have here right now. Hello, everyone in here. So today we're gonna start off with the story, or not start off. We're gonna continue with the story that we'd already started previously. We had some good results. We had some challenges. That's just kind of par for the course. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to share my screen so we can get started. Bear with me one second. Let's see. Here we go. Okay, so get rid of me. There we go. Okay, so you should be seeing my screen now. And it looks like you. Okay, so this is good morning. This is February 6th, 2024. I'm Michelle Hinojosa. I'm with the Future Fiction Academy. Hello, Death by Diva. Thank you for joining us. Today we're going to get started, or continue again, rather, with the story we've already started. This one is our magic shop story. In it, we have this little boy that gets locked in the magic shop overnight and finds out some of the items in there are actually alive. And they join him on a quest to escape the magic shop, but ultimately he gets wrapped up in a different quest, which is actually to help the characters, the toys, and the other items break the curse that's actually locking them to the magic shop. So right now we're actually on chapter 8. In chapter 8, we have right here, I'm going to make it a little bit bigger just so everyone can read it. If you have anything you want to say in the chat, I have the chat up, so feel free to join me in chat and chat away. All right. So I cut some of this out because the story had wrapped up a little bit too easily in the word crumbling. I spelled the word crumbling wrong. And it wrapped up, excuse me, I'm sorry, give me one second. My apologies, these allergies, geez. So it wrapped up a little too quickly, and the villain really wasn't what I wanted it to be. So I actually stopped it mid chapter here. So we're going to start off today by continuing that chapter. All right. So the same brief I'm keeping the same. I'm not going to change anything. I'm just going to add something to it. So inside the chamber, they find themselves joined by Malefico, who's actually I changed the name of the evil character to Malefico just because it felt kind of amusing to me. Who attempts to stop them from breaking the curse. After a battle of magic and wits, Malefico is defeated and vanishes into a puff of smoke. So we're going to leave that at that. He's defeated, vanishes into a puff of smoke, and that'll be the end of that chapter, is what we're going to do at the end of this chapter. So we're going to continue scene from where scene 8 left off, start with them. Okay, so we're going to take this off because I don't want them to start with them falling because we're further than that. And make sure it says scene 8 at the top, and it does. All right, so I already have my Rexy set up. I just want to make sure it's in here. Hi, Ingrid. How are you doing today? Good to see you. Okay, so we have the scene 8 here. So we have the partial scene 8 that we're going to do. And I'm just going to go ahead today and we're going to play in the prompter so everyone can get a look at that. I haven't done prompter yet that I'm aware of. I'm trying to mix it up. I'm getting it either way, whether I do it in Wordbanger or prompter, I'm going to get the same results. Glad to hear you're good, Ingrid. I'm going to get the same results whether I do it in Wordbanger or in prompter. So I figure I'll try prompter today and we'll see how it goes. At least it's for this continuation part. So system prompt. I need to go in there and grab my system prompt. So I'm actually going to come into here. And this is one of the reasons why the logs are so important to me. Because right now I want the system prompt I used last time, but I don't have it on hand. So I could come into my log and come over here. And I'm going to grab my system prompt. Right there. Okay, so you are an advanced AI trained as an expert junior writer with a focus on transforming story briefs into compelling prose. Your primary function is to assist in the creative writing process by expanding brief story outlines into detailed, engaging narratives. You possess a deep understanding of young adult horror/suspense, narrative structures, character development, and descriptive dialogue. So that is perfect. I'm going to copy this, and we're going to put this in our system prompt here in Prompter and hit Control Enter to apply. If anyone's having trouble reading my screen, let me know. I can make it a little bit bigger. And then I'm going to title this Scene 8 Continuation. That way it'll be easier for me to find it. It'll still be at the bottom, but regardless. Okay, now for my user prompt, please read. Let's see, what are we reading here? 1 second, all. Okay, please read. We want N. Let me see. I know we want N32 for sure. We want N31. Okay, N31. And N32. Okay, and then continue writing scene 8 from where the scene left off. Okay, Death by Diva wants it bigger. I could go that big and still be able to write properly. So hopefully that's good enough. Let me know if it's not Death by Diva. Okay, so I'll wait for your response. I'll type while you're responding. So please read N31 and N32, and then continue writing scene 8 from where the scene left off. So that's what I'm going to prompt it. I'm going to come over here, all the way up here, and come in here. We're going to go ahead and use Claude. Okay, I'm going to use Claude 2. I'm going to bump the temperature down to 0.8. I'm just going to change this. And I'm going to try running this at 0.8. I think that's what I ran last time. Well, you know what? I'm not sure. I could come back here and actually look. I actually ran it with a 1. 4096. Okay, so we'll go back and we'll run it with a 1. And that's the other reason this is so useful, is because I could go back and see exactly what I've run. So I'm going to update this. Okay. We have that. Okay, so now I'm going to click process. And we are going to let this run. And okay, let's see. So let's see where scene 8 left off. So it left off with they're moving. Max is moving slowly to the nearest table. So they fall through the floor and they land in this chamber. They follow a dim light out of the chamber, or out of this chamber, into a hallway that leads to a third chamber, which has a bunch of bottles. It's kind of like if you would see a movie and you see like the mysterious magic lab. There's bubbling cauldrons. There's bubbling beakers. Like chemistry meets magic. That's kind of the room that they find themselves in. So he's looking around at the surfaces, the jars, powders, and liquids you can see on the screen. And then as he's looking around, a raspy cackle breaks the silence. So Max jumps and looks around for it. And so he calls out for whoever it is. Then there's a shuffling, scraping noise, and one of the room's shadowy corners seems to detach itself and move forward. So then, so it actually picked up very well from where we left off, because it's the next thing it generates is Max stumbled back as a shadowy figure shuffled into the green glow, revealing itself to be an ancient, wizened man. So that's actually really good. It picked up exactly where it left off, which is what I wanted. And this is still running, so we're going to give it a second. Let's see. He was hunched over, draped in a cloak covered in arcane symbols. His face was heavily lined, and his eyes peered out sharply from under bushy white eyebrows. Well, well, what have we here? The old man rasped, looking them over with interest. Visitors to my sanctum? It has been some time. He hobbled closer. I'm going to remove the hobbled part once it's done, because this is like a strong, magician. He's not hobbling over or anything like that. So we're going to change that. But I have to wait for this to finish generating before I can. So no need to fear, young ones. You may call me the caretaker. I have guarded these archives for centuries. I swear to receive guests. So Max introduces himself. And I'm trying to see. Well, this is generating. Or is it done? It is done. Perfect. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and go in here. It generated me 480 words. I didn't specify how many words I want to generate, so I'm not surprised it kind of lowballed it a little bit. Let's go to auto rates. And then, let's see. Here we go. This is what I want. Okay. So here's a continuation of scene 8 right here. So we're going to go through and we're going to grab what we want out of here, make some changes to it, and then we're going to do our scene 9 brief. So let's go through this first. I'm actually going to just, go through this here. Take this part out. Okay, so Max stumbled back as Shadow Figure shuffled. We already read that part. Well, what have we here? The wizard. We're going to say the wizard rasped. No, the wizard. We'll say the wizard, he spoke softly at first, looking at them with interest. Visitors to my sanctum. It's been some time. He moved closer. We'll say he seemed to float across the room. And I don't know who Madison is. We're going to say Ivy shrank back behind Jackson. He's bringing in a Madison. I'll have to look into why. But for now, we're just going to change it this way. Okay, no need to fear, young ones, the man said. You may call me the caretaker. I guess he could go by that. Maleficor could go by the caretaker to kind of throw them off so they don't know that he's actually the bad guy yet. So he said, I've guarded these archives for centuries. I might come back up and change that, but I want to look at the rest of this first. So Max cleared his throat nervously. I'm Max. This is Madison, Jackson, Ivy. No. This is Jackson, Ivy, and Madame Muskia. We're sorry to intrude. We fell down here by accident. The caretaker nodded sagely. Yes, the living are not meant to tread these forgotten ways. Perhaps it was fate that brought you here. Stop that, Mouse. You're going crazy. His piercing gaze moved over each of them before settling on Max. There's something curious about you, boy, an aura I've not sensed in a very long time. Max shifted his feet uneasily. I don't know what you mean, sir. Okay. Supposed you would not. We're going to say wizard. The wizard turned away abruptly. Come, you did not arrive here by chance. There are things you must see. So exchanging puzzled glances, the group slowly followed as the caretaker led them further. So is he leading them to Maleficor? We're going to find out. Death by Diva says they have a niece named Madison. Tell her to stop sneaking into my story, Death by Diva. Okay, the group slowly followed the caretaker. Strange scientific equipment, ancient tomes covered every surface. The shelves were crammed with books, bottles, and strange artifacts. So he calls it the Chamber of Whispers. He guards the secrets and history forgotten by the world above. And then he pulls a book off the metal bound. That's actually pretty interesting. A metal bound book. That must be kind of heavy. Madame Miski's eyes gleamed with interest as she peered at the books. Jackson eyed a shelf of skulls warily. Why have you brought us here? Max questioned. Okay. Yeah, no, this isn't working for me. We're going to have to give it a little more instructions. I like him posing as a caretaker. Excuse me. I'm going to have the caretaker actually be Maleficor, and he's posing as this to try to get them. Ooh, he could be trying to trap them in the book, but maybe they catch on at the last minute. That actually will work. So let's see. He gestured to an ancient tome bound in cracked leather that lay on an open podium. Read. Perhaps you will find what you seek. Let's see. Hesitantly, Max moved closer to the book. The others crowded in behind him. Dusty pages were filled with spidery writing and complex symbols. Max's eyes widened. It's about the Dreamwalker, he breathed. How did you know? Let's see. We're actually going to have just Max question how he can read it. It's in a different language, but I can understand some of these symbols. Then we'll put Max looked up at the caretaker. The old man simply smiled mysteriously. Read and understand your purpose. Hands trembling, Max turned the page. The answer just sought might finally be within. He turned the page and focused on the symbols. So I'm thinking what I want the book to do is kind of freeze Max up, like he kind of gets lost in it. So Ivy and the others have to try to break that so they can then fight this guy off, is what I think I'm going to do. So we're going to take this here. I could move it into scene 8, but I think I'm just going to copy it into here. I'll delete that part in a second, the extra part. Hey, that's not what I want. That is not what I want at all. Turn into text. There we go. Okay. So Magic Shop. There we go. So we have that in there. And now that we have this, we're going to come back into Rexy and refresh our Notion slots because I want it to continue the story again, but I want it to have the new stuff mixed in there. So we're going to refresh that real quick, and then we're going to wait a second. Just waiting for that to generate. And let's see, nothing else in the chat. Nope, nothing else in the chat yet. Any questions or anything like that, feel free to chime in if you have any. Like I said, I'm watching the chat. And wow, this is taking a while to... It's probably because I have so much in my Notion slots, why it's taking a while for it to actually go through. So we're just waiting for this to finish up so I can actually get in here and continue running the story. In the meantime, let's go here into the scene brief. Okay, I'm going to take this stuff out. Actually, I'm going to duplicate the scene brief first, just in case. Let's duplicate this. Duplicate. There we go. Scene brief. We're going to say, yeah, we'll just keep it as a 1 so we know this is the new one. And then we're going to come in here and we're going to take out the parts that it's already written because I don't want to confuse it. Okay, so please make sure to continue writing chapter 8 with Max becoming entranced with the book. And Ivy, Madame, Muskia, and Jackson having to find a way to break the spell. Okay, so we're going to continue with that. All right, continue with that right there. And let's see here. After a battle with magic, so inside the chamber, they find someone joined by Malefico, posing as the caretaker, because I want to make that him, who attempts to stop them from breaking the curse, who attempts to trap Max in the realm. Okay, after a battle with witch with magic, so I'm going to add something else in here. So, when Max reads the book, The Caretaker, I spelled caretaker wrong over here. Reads the book The Caretaker offers. He becomes entranced and unable to look away. Ivy, I'm just going to put it in here again because sometimes it needs you to repeat it for it to actually kind of take hold. Muskia and Jackson. Okay, so Ivy, Madame Muskia, and Jackson must find a way to distract the caretaker in order to break the spell. Once Max is with Max free again, the group takes on the caretaker and manages to find and exploit his weaknesses to defeat him. There we go. Okay, and then this one, Malefico is defeated and vanishes into a puff of smoke. All right, so that's what we're gonna have here. So we have this added in here, so that way we're giving it a little more details. Oh Lord, now I have to refresh the Notion slots again because I just changed it. Okay, so we're gonna give it another second to do that. And well, I'm not going to change anything else. But I do want to just come in here and make sure everything is where it needs to be. Since I'm waiting anyway, I don't need my auto right there. I can close this one down. Okay. This should be done in a second. We're just going to give it that second to get finished and see what we get. Come on, you can do it. There we go. Yay, you did it. Okay. So we're going to scroll up here to the top. And we're going to keep this the same, actually, because we really don't need anything changed. I'm just going to add to it right here. And I'm going to add this personal note into the actual prompt as well. And then continue writing. Okay, so I'm just modifying it so it says, please read N31 and N32. Excuse me, jeez. This cough is killing me. Okay, so please read N31 and N32, and then continue writing Chapter 8 with Max becoming entranced with the book and Ivy, Madame Mesquia, and Jackson having to find a way to break the spell. So we're going to give it that. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to process this again, because I wanted to reread what it's done and then continue on from that point. I forgot to tell how many words to write, but we're going to see what it gives us. Okay, so it did continue exactly where we needed it to. Max is staring at the ancient book. He's transfixed by the strange symbols and cryptic writing on the age pages. So that's perfect. That's picking up exactly where I wanted it to. Let's see. He slowly turned each part oblivious to everything else around him. It was as if the book had cast a spell on him, pulling him into its world of dark secrets and forbidden knowledge. So we're going to change this because for some reason it now thinks Ivy is Max's sister, which is interesting because nowhere in anywhere did it say they were. So I'm not sure where it's getting that. I think what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to stop this real quick and I'm going to lower the temperature on my AWS to 0.8 because I want it to stick a little bit closer to what I'm telling it. So I'm going to give it a 0.8 so it can do that. That way it'll take into account what I've written and kind of gear it more towards that instead of just going completely off the rails. So we're going to try that here. That's changed. This is updated. Temperature's 0.8. And then now we're going to go ahead and we're going to process it now and see what we get. Sometimes the AI just requires some adjustments. Okay, so it's still continuing where I left off. Max stared intensely at the ancient tome, utterly transfixed by the cryptic writings and sinister illustrations. The leather binding creaked as he slowly turned each brittle page, his eyes wide with fascination. He was oblivious to everything else around him, consumed by the dark knowledge contained within the book's pages. Ivy watched him anxiously, wringing her hands. She's a scarf. Okay, we'll take that out. We have to do something, she urged Madame Mesquia and Jackson. That book has him under some kind of a spell. Well, thank you for stating the obvious. We'll take that part out because that's kind of redundant. Madame Mesquia nodded gravely. She could sense the dark magic emanating from the tome, forbidden incantations and rituals long thought lost. We must act quickly before its grip on him strengthens. Jackson stepped forward, reaching out to grab the book from Max's hands, but some invisible force repelled him, knocking him back. Max did not even glance up, completely enthralled. I'm going to probably take out this sentence as well. Okay, and then its defenses are too strong, Jackson grunted, picking himself up off the floor. We need to break its hold on him before we can destroy it. Ivy's mind raced. An idea sprang to mind. She remembered the chant Max had used earlier, the words that had cracked the mirror. There was no chant earlier. Let's see. I kind of like the chanting thing, but we're going to modify this because Max never did a chant earlier, so I'm not sure where the heck I got that from. But I imagine they would they're magical items. They could know a chant that might be able to stall it enough for Max to break free. So we'll modify that. We can still work with that. That'll be good. Okay, so let's see if we're done. We are done. So let's go over here to the link. And it only wrote 299 words. Claude is not giving me very much today. I'm not sure what's going on with him. He must be sleepy. Okay, so we're going to modify this a little bit. So Max stared intensely at the ancient tome, utterly transfixed by the cryptic writings and sinister illustrations. The leather binding creaked as he slowly turned each brittle page, his eyes wide with fascination. He was oblivious to everything else around him, consumed by the dark knowledge contained within the book's pages. Ivy watched him anxiously, wringing her hands. We'll just take out that. Watch him anxiously. We have to do something, cheers Madame Mesquia and Jackson. The book has him under. We'll take that part out. We have to do something, she says. Madame Mesquia nodded gravely. She could sense the dark magic emanating from the tome, forbidding incantation and rituals long thought lost. We must act quickly before its grip on him strengthens, she says. So Jackson steps forward, reaching out to grab the book from Max's hands, but some invisible force repelled him, knocking him back. Max did not even glance up, completely enthralled. So we're going to take out this part too. We're just going to have invisible force repelled, knocking him back. And obviously later on I'm going to go through and add more to this. Right now we're just getting like the skeleton of it. Its defenses are too strong, Jackson grunted, picking himself up off the floor. We need to break its hold on him before we can destroy it. Ivy's mind raced. An idea sprang to mind. Okay, so we're going to take this part out. She exclaimed, and then continued, seeing the confusion on the faces of the other, on Jackson's face, we'll say. The ritual chant, she exclaimed. Excuse me, I'm sorry. Okay, so the ritual chant, she exclaimed, and then continued, seeing the confusion on Jackson's face. If we can disrupt the book's dark energy, it may free Max. Okay. So we'll put, remember the chant the shop owner used to break the curse on the Egyptian bust. If we can use it to disrupt the book's dark energy made for Max. I'm going to keep that like that for now. I'm probably going to come in and come up with something more original, but I'm thinking what came to mind is in the shop owner, Mr. Elias. We'll just put Mr. Elias instead of that. He got this like Egyptian bust he brought in to have on display, and then possibly sell, and had a curse on it. So he had this chant he actually recited, a ritual to break the curse, so it was safe to keep in the shop. So that came to Ivy's mind. So she's thinking that may work. But Mesquia's eyes lit up. It could work. The incantation may counteract the malicious spell. She began to gather items from around the shop: candles, herbs, crystals, things they would need to amplify the ritual power. No, they're not going to have time to do that because angry mean dude is right there. Jackson took his place beside Ivy. We only have one shot at this. Let's just hope it's enough. The three of them formed a circle around Max. As Madame Mesquia lit the candles, Ivy and Jackson closed their eyes and began to chant. So I like this, but it doesn't make much sense because the bad guy is like still in the room. So there's no way he would just let him do this. So let's see. They would need a distraction. Okay. He spoke softly. I'll distract the caretaker while you two try it. Okay. So we're going to put that because there's no way this bad guy's just going to stand there and be like, oh, you're doing a chant, go right ahead, and just sit there twiddling his thumbs as watching. That makes no sense whatsoever. So I'm going to grab all this and toss it in Scene 8 as well. In here, and we're going to turn into text. There we go. Take out this title. There we go. Hello, Secrets of Silver Cloud. Thank you for joining us. So Max stared intensely at the ancient tome, literally transfixed. Okay, so Max is transfixed. Ivy comes with an idea for this chant, and Jackson volunteers himself to be the one to try to distract the caretaker. So that's where we're going to keep with this one. So I'm going to come into here, and I am going to, where the heck is it? End slots. There we go. I'm going to refresh this again. Okay, we're going to let that run. going to exit out of this one since I don't need it. I'm going to come in here at the scene brief. Let's see. Oh, I know what I did wrong. I know why I did this. When I referenced the N31, I believe it was, I'm still referencing the old scene brief. I have to change it. I have to add 1 to that number. So it actually reads this. So I'm actually going to run this exact same thing again with what we have, because I think that's what the issue was. That was just a quick error of numbers. So let me change this real quick. Yeah, we'll keep it like that because you should be able to tell that. Okay, and then we're done here. Okay, so we're going to run this one more time. Same thing. Because I believe that's the issue, is because I still have it referencing N32. I'm pointing at my screen as if you can see where I'm pointing with my finger. I still have it referencing N32. And if I am correct, yes, N33 is what we want it to reference now. So N31. Wait, hold on. There's 2 scene briefs. That's right. So we want the N32. And we want N33. There we go. That's what it is. N32 and N33. Because I no longer want it to reference the old scene brief. I want it to reference the new one we just did. And so we're going to do N32 and N33 there. Boom, we got that. And then we are going to run this and see what happens. And hopefully Claude behaves himself and gives us some good prose. I really wish he was generating more. It seems to be a very short word day. Let's see. Nope, that's not what I wanted to do. It's starting too early in the scene, so I'm going to stop that and come in here. And we're going to change this. Please make sure to continue around chapter 8 with Jackson rushing to distract the caretaker while Ivy and Madame Mesquia begin a chant to try to free Max. Okay, so that's where we're going to have a leave off. Okay. And we should be good there. So one more time in here. Back up here to refresh. Nope, come on, let me click. Come on, be nice, please. Yay, there we go. All right, we're going to refresh this one more time. Why are you running so? I told you not to run. Hey, this is fun. What happened? It just decided to die. Okay, I killed it. Let me get back in here real quick. Because I killed the project. We'll see how much we have in there still. All right, we're going to have to set this back up again real quick, but that's not a big deal. Go into here, Magic Shop. Thank God for auto write and auto log and all that, because this would be very, upsetting if you were doing it anywhere else and maybe it crashed and you didn't like copy and paste it or anything. But I know it's all safe in my Notion, so I don't have to worry about it. So we're going to go back in here. I'm going to change this to AWS. We're going to change this to Claude 2. I'm going to bring my temperature down to 0.9. I want it to be a little bit creative, but I don't want it to go off the rails. Change this to 4096, and we're going to update this. And then we're going to come in here to my Notion so I can grab this link, because I need to put this link over here so it knows what I'm doing. End slots. Boom. Okay, we're going to let that, please. Okay, there we go. Now it's setting it up. Okay, and then this should be good. Oh, one thing I'm noticing here, these characters is missing. Maleficor is his name. Malefico is his name now, not Malicor. Malefico just seemed a little more like young adulty to me than Malicor did. So I changed it to that. So I'm going to grab Malefico's information right here. Geez, this is a lot on him. I am going to, I don't want to put this entire thing because everyone else is so like succinct. Let's see. I'm just going to take description, unique traits. Let's see. Yeah, I'm just going to grab this stuff here. Right here. Up to there. And we're going to toss this into our scene brief. That's a little bit longer than the other ones, but I want him to play him properly, so I think that's going to be okay. Let me get rid of some of this stuff. Hold on. Let's see. Secondary characters. Okay, so this needs to be tabbed in. Let's actually grab all this and tab it at the same time so I don't have to play with it. I'm going to grab all of this right here. And I'm just changing the tab on it. So I'm just going to click all this and hit tab once. So it brings everything in one and I don't have to worry about it. So now it's the same there. This needs to be, nope, please stop. This needs to be taken out. This needs to come up here. And I want to actually change this to dashes. I wonder if this will work. Let's do this and let's see if it could change this to dashes. We're going to go into here. We're going to ask the AI, please change this list to a list with a dash instead of a bullet point. I doubt it's going to do it, but I want to try it just because we're here. Let's see. It did not, but it took out the bullet points. So, oh, nope, it added the bullet points back in. Never mind. Oh, well, it was worth a shot. We're going to do this, and we want to match the formatting of the other one. So I'm just going to quickly... No, I'm not. It's not going to let me. Really? I would just like it to change it to text. Please change this to a text only field. Oh, but please change this to text only. Let's see if it does it. If not, we're just gonna take that out completely. But okay, you know what? That works. We're gonna do it that way. Then I don't have to worry about this stupid little thing right here. Okay. Traits. We'll do the same thing for this because I actually seem to be pretty good. So let's see. Please change this to text only. Let's do that again. I'm doing this because these little bullet points I don't want to toss into Rexy. So I'm just making it into text itself so that way the AI could go through it easier. At least that's my hope. Okay, this is... Jesus, there's a lot of these, aren't there? Please change this to text only. How many more do we have to do? This one and this one. I'm going to leave these the way they are. Okay, so this should be fine. We'll be good. After this one will be good. Replace selected. Okay, there we go. Boom. We are good now. So all of that. This is all still not lined up properly. Gonna move it in one more time. Okay, there we go. And then we're just gonna leave it like that. That'll work. We're gonna refresh this because I made those changes. And then we're gonna go through and we're gonna ask it to read through that stuff and continue generating scene 8 for us because I want to get that fight that they have at the end in scene 8. If it doesn't give it to me, then I might try 16K 3.5, the ChatGPT. But I'm pretty sure Claude should give it to me because I'm not asking for violence. I'm just asking for like a little fight scene. But in the meantime, we're just waiting for that to run. And we're going to see what happens here. Everything else is already set up. So yeah, once that runs, we'll jump back into Prompter and we'll have a little playtime with there. We are just waiting on this. And the reason this is taking longer is because I do have a lot of end slots set up. I'm already up to 33. End slots used to be a lot less, but we have unlimited capabilities now. The only caveat to that is it takes a little bit longer to load the more end slots you have. But usually it's not that big of a problem. At least not for me anyway. Okay, so we're going into Prompter. And System Prompt. So I'm going to come back into here because I want to know what I ran last time. So I'm going to come out of here and into my logs. And then, oh, this is the other one. Okay, so not that one. Here we go. Simulation scene 8. That's not what I want. Where is my one with all the information on top? Here we go. Okay, so you were in Advanced AI. This is the one I want right here. Okay, we have that there. Control Enter to apply. And then what did I use for my... Let's see. I'm just scrolling down to the bottom to see everything that was in this one. Okay, perfect. Okay, so please read. And I believe it was N32 and 33, but I want to verify just to make sure I put in the right ones. Scroll down to the bottom. Come on, there we go. So yes, N32. And nope, wrong one. There we go. And N33. There we go. Please read N32 and N33. And continue scene 8. Write at least, let's say 3,000 words to continue the scene. Actually, let's not do that because we already have a certain amount. We already have some words. Let's write at least 1,000 words to continue the scene. So we have that there. Okay, Control Enter. Now we're going to run it again. And we will see what we get now. Are you going to run, Claude? Are you awake? Mr. Claude, what are you doing? Let's see. Rexy's giving me some problems right now. Let me do this up here real quick. That's set up. That's set up. Yeah, I'm not sure what is going on right now. Okay, so I think I broke Rexy. So what I'm going to do is we're going to do this. Actually, first thing I'm going to actually do this, and I'm going to refresh and just start from scratch. If that doesn't work, then I'll jump into Playground. Excuse me, Playground AI to do a little bit. But let's actually just refresh this first. Go in here. I'm trying to remember where what I'm looking for was moved to. Let's see. Clear cache. Okay. I'm doing that just because there seems to be something going on with Rexy, and I'm not sure if it's on my end or what's going on, so better just to start from scratch. This is going to be AWS Bedrock. Claude 2. I want to run this temperature at point. We're running at 0.8 to start with. Change this to 4096. Nope, let's not do that. 4096. And top P, I'm going to bring down to 0.7 just to see. I've been playing with new parameters to see what works best, so we're going to try that. And then we're going to come in here and set up my Notion slots again and also set up my project. Magic Shop, load project. Like I said, if it doesn't work this time, we'll do it a different way, but I want to give it a second shot because sometimes it's just, something just got lost in translation somewhere. So let me get out of here and get my Notion slots, which are right here. Okay, come into here. We're going to paste it here and give it a second to load. I apologize for the delay. Just want to make sure we have this working. I've actually never had this problem before, so I'm sure it's just maybe it was something I did. Maybe I refreshed too many times or something like that. Okay, let's see. Still running. We're almost ready. It's chugging away. But in the meantime, let me grab this. Yeah, it looks okay. So it looks like this is ready. There's no problems with this. Well, we're just waiting for this. Okay, there we go. So let's jump back into Prompter and let's try this again. So back over here to my auto log. I should just have an auto log set up separately. Let's see. There we go. And I believe it was like the third one up. Yes, it was. Okay. Grab this right here for our system prompt. There we go. And then our user prompt. It's going to be what? Please read N32 and N33. And because I'm always forgetting, I'm just going to verify it again. Yep, okay. And continue writing scene 8. Please write 1,000 words. Okay, there's that. Okay, and now that we've done that, we're going to go ahead and we're going to process it again. Okay, now it's working. Yeah, it was just something weird that was going on. So we're good now. It's working. Okay, so it actually picked up where we left off, which is great. Jackson slowly approached the caretaker, who was intently watching Max study the ancient tome. Excuse me, sir, Jackson said politely. I was wondering if you could tell me more about this place. Where exactly are we? I don't think that's going to work, Jackson. We're going to see what this does, but I don't think walking up to him and be like, excuse me, Mr. Bad Guy, who is hurting my friend, can you please stop for a second and look in this direction? Not very, not exactly my first choice of distraction, but we'll see how this goes, and then see if there's anything we can salvage from it. Thank you very much, Death by Diva, for the donation. And this is your 10th super on a live stream according to YouTube, so yay! Congratulations on that. All right, and we are just waiting for this. So the caretaker turned to Jackson, looking mildly annoyed at the interruption. But after studying the boy for a moment, the old man's expression softened. No, it doesn't. Absolutely not. No. I'm going to let this just finish running to see if there's anything salvageable whatsoever. But that is just absolutely ridiculous. He's not going to be like, I'm trying to destroy your friend's mind so he can't do anything. And then this little puppet walks up and is like, hey, excuse me, I want information. He's like, oh, do you? Let me just stop my evil plans to come and give you all the information you want to defeat me. Yes, indeed. Like, that just seems really ridiculous. So we're going to just put a note in here because we know this is going to be different. Let's see. Make sure to continue write chapter 8 with Jackson rushing to distract the caretaker by jumping onto him and climbing up his face to distract him. Okay, so rushing to distract the caretaker by jumping on him and climbing up into his face. Up into his face. Okay. Period. Okay, and then Ivy and Madame. So Ivy and Madame Mesquia begin a chant to try to free Max. Okay, so there we go. We have that. We have that. We have. Okay, so Jackson throws himself on the caretaker and climbs up his body to his face, where he will say yanks on his nose. That would distract me if someone was climbing up and like suddenly grabbed my nose. So there we go. And Ivy and Madame Mesquia. Madame Mesquia. Form a circle. I would say link hands. And begin the chant. And the chant, which breaks Max free of the spell. Okay. Okay. We'll say a battle ensues. And Max and his friends. I don't trust enough to add more people. So Max, Ivy, Jackson, and Madame Mesquia are able to exploit Malefico's weakness and defeat him. And then Malefico's feet vanishes in a puff of smoke. Okay. After being defeated. Okay, so we're going to go with that. I don't know how more clear I could be that I want them to fight on this, and I don't want it to be like a loving conversation. So we're just going to grab this and refresh over here. because that was absolutely ridiculous. That's like even in like I mean I think there'd be more adventure, more excitement in like a Care Bears movie than this thing was giving us right now. Like there wasn't even any conflict at all. He's like, hey, and he's like, hey, and they're like best friends forever. No, that doesn't work. That doesn't work for me. Give me some drama. Okay, so we're waiting for the Notion slot to start up, and once that does, we'll continue. But we have to wait for that, unfortunately. Come on, Notion, you can do it. Or it's not even Notion; it's just the information being carried over. But it is a lot of information I'm putting over there. So, I mean, I can't fault it for taking a while because I have all of this, including all these scene briefs, including all of this information on the characters here. Like, there's a lot of things that are being fed over, so I understand why it's taking the time. Okay, so here we go. Please read N32 and N31 and continue writing scene 8. Please write 1,000 words. And now that I've specified, I want him to like jump on him and like distract him. That should give us what we want. Let's see. We're gonna say continue writing chapter 8. We're just gonna grab this as well, and we're gonna put this here. That way, we'll just give it an added little poke, like, hey, this is what we're doing. Play along. Play nice. Don't make me get the squirt bottle. All right, so there we go. So now let's try this again. I'm gonna boost this back up again. Let's see what we get, because I'm not like super impressed by what we're getting. So let's try this and see. I don't mind some creativity. I just don't want it to go off the rail. So there's like a happy median, whichever word that is that I'm trying to find today. Because what I used to do, it doesn't actually work as well as it used to. So I need to find a new process or not even new process, but new parameters I want to use for each thing I'm doing. Okay, so Jackson lunged towards the hunched figure of the caretaker, jumping onto his back and scrambling to cover the old man's eyes. Okay, see, that's cute. He's climbing up his back, he's covering his eyes. Okay, I like that. It's better than coming up and having a conversation and just becoming like bros immediately. Hey, get off me, you impudent whelp, the caretaker bellowed, grabbing wildly at Jackson. As Jackson clung on tightly, Ivy and Madame Mesquia moved swiftly to Max's side. They began chanting in unison, an eerie melody that seemed to echo unnaturally in the stone chamber. Ancient forces, we now implore, break this wicked spell once more. That's cute, actually. That's a cute little incantation. Max remained oblivious, fully engrossed in the ancient tome. His fingers trembled as they turned each page, hungry to consume more of the sinister content. The caretaker continued grappling with Jackson, who held on valiantly. Release me at once, the old man shouted. I'm gonna change the old man thing. I don't know why it's picking up old man. I guess it considers like the 50s the old man. I guess that works, yeah. Ivy and Madame Mesquia chanted louder, their voices resonating with mystical power. This evil we now supersede, with these words we intercede. This is actually kind of cute. It's making its own little incantation. That's adorable. And it rhymes too, so that makes it even better. Because all incantations should rhyme. Wink, wink. Alright, so Max swayed on his feet, the glow in his eyes flickering. The book's hold on him was weakening under the onslaught of the chant. With a mighty shrug, the caretaker finally flung Jackson off of him. Jackson hit the stone floor hard, and the wind knocked out of him. Ivy and Madame Mesquia chanted faster, feeling Max begin to slip from the book's grasp. The caretaker advanced towards them, face contorted in anger. By ancient right now, come undone. Your twisted spell no more will shun. And that doesn't make as much sense, but we're gonna go with it. With the final verse, Max gasped and stumbled back, the trance broken. The book slammed shut with a resonating boom that shook the entire chamber. Okay, I'm liking this a lot better. So let's go into here. Make sure it's done. It is. And we're going to come down to here to the link. Let's jump in here and check this out. We have about 5-ish minutes left, so we'll check this out real quick. So, okay, we already read that part. Let's see. I'm trying to find my spot. Okay. With the final verse, Max gasped and stumbled back, the trance broken. The book slammed shut. We read that. No, the caretaker cried out in despair and rage. He lunged for the tome, but Ivy was faster. She grabbed the book and tossed it to Jackson. Destroy it, she yelled. Jackson slammed the book down hard on the stone altar, shattering its ancient bindings. The caretaker allowed an unearthly howl as inky smoke rose up from the ruined pages. Panting, Jackson turned to the others. We need to get out of here now. Okay, I want to add more. I want to have more to this fight scene. So I'm going to take this. I really like this. It didn't write me very many words, though. It's not actually writing me very many words today, which is disappointing. Ah, what the heck did I just accidentally do? It's actually kind of disappointing because I was hoping for more words. We only got 300. But I'll take what I could get right now. So I'm going to grab this. I could just move this over and like add it to scene 8, but I like copy and pasting it right here. I don't mind that right now because I'm getting some good stuff. Okay, so we're going to have it continue the fight scene. So right here, all the way back up to the top. Okay. And continue writing chapter 8 with a descriptive, intense battle between the caretaker, Max, the caretaker, and Max and his group. Okay, there we go. So please read N3, 2, and 3 and continue writing chapter 8. And continue writing chapter 8 in a descriptive, with a, that's what it is, with a descriptive intense battle between the caretaker, Max, and his friends. There we go. So I'm going to go ahead and run this. We're going to let this run. We have about 3 minutes left. So we're going to go ahead and let this run real quick. Okay. There we go. Now it's generating some stuff. Okay, Jackson edged towards the caretaker, trying to draw his attention. So you've been down here a long time, huh? No. Nope, that doesn't work. We're going to let it run anyway, see if there's anything we could retrieve from it, but I did not like how it did that. Let's see. Okay, we're going to change this. That's the problem. I didn't change this one. Okay, so continue chapter 8 with an epic battle between the caretaker, Max, Ivy, Jackson, and Madame Mesquia. All right, so then we're going to take all of this out and just have a battle ensuing, an epic battle. Maybe if I put epic battle, it'll know that I want it huge. Hopefully it doesn't bring in a lot of extra characters, but we'll see. So I wanted to continue here. So that's fine. You are still running? Jeez. I'm just going to stop it because I already know for a fact it's not what I want. So we have that. We have this. I need to update my end slots, and it looks like we're about out of time, actually. I'm just going to get this running real quick to refresh my end slots. Okay. And we're about out of time, so I'm going to go ahead and stop my screen share. And thank you all for joining me today. I'm going to have this running. Next Tuesday, we're going to go ahead and we're going to continue this on. We'll try to finish up this fight scene and then wrap up the story, hopefully next Tuesday, if not the Tuesday after that. Formatting's changing a little bit here at FFA. We're changing a few things up. We're actually starting to do a lot more pre-recorded videos for students to watch and then have Q&A sessions based on those videos and other questions the members of the Future Fiction Academy may have. So that's going underway. I'm going to be doing lives each Tuesday. And then the last Tuesday of each month will actually be part of my FFA Presents interview series. The last one we had Lynn Jordan. Check that one out. It was amazing. And just expect now Tuesdays will be my lives. I will not be doing Wednesdays, but Tuesday is 100% locked in. So I hope to see you next Tuesday. There's a little banner right here to join the Future Fiction Academy. I hope to see you there. We have a lot of exciting things coming up, a lot of good changes, and we're here to help writers figure out how to use AI to assist in their writing. So everyone have a wonderful day, and bye-bye.